Don't blink, it's your boy Ink. Welcome to the Content Show. Guess I'm doing well because I'm having a wonderful day. On this 22nd October 2024, we are gonna recap Painkiller show. But before we even start, there's gonna be so there's gonna be episode 1, 2, and 3. There's gonna be 4, 5, and 6, and 7, and possibly an 8. I don't even know. But before we start, there's gonna be some rules, okay? So when I refer to medication, right, I'm gonna use the word candy, okay? And the reason why I'm doing that is because TikTok and YouTube aren't friendly towards somebody talking about medication the way I'm gonna be doing, because it's a show about addiction to opioids, right? That's pretty much it. That's pretty much it. We're gonna be talking about addiction. We're gonna call them hugs, because once again, I don't want to be having another strikes. And the show is great, but the show's already 2 years old, and for some reason, I think the politically correct has grown even longer. I think we're more sensitive than we were 2 years ago. I'm not sure why, but we are. So let's just start right away, cause your boy has a food coming in 20 minutes, and I'm super excited. So let's freaking go. So again, I strongly recommend watching. Excuse me, Kansa. I strongly recommend watching The Why, because to me, this is a really, really good show. But I'm presented with a situation, I'm presented with a little bit of an issue. And a little bit of an issue is the show is entertaining, right? And the other issue is we're talking about addiction once again. And for me, it's a show, but for some people, it's a reality. And when I did the one to review, like, oh, you dude, this is a really good show. Then I have I woke up hungover, not hungover, but just really tired. Went to rock a piss. Realized that I didn't have to piss. I'm joking. Yeah, I'm not super comfortable with the subject of addiction. It's the opioid. The show is more so about the. So I have an addictive personality. Oh, hyper-focus. Maybe it's ADHD, but I'll hyper-focus on things. For example, content creation, food, a certain show, a certain anime, a certain game. You know, that's just the way I am. That's just the person I am. There's not a reason more than that. I'll be completely honest. That being said, if we're talking about opioid, the show is about how it was one of the world's biggest crises, and how it was somehow founded. Somehow because it wasn't criminal. It was criminal with ties. It was kind of okay, you know? So yeah, I think we're gonna start with this show, and I'll do a season 1. Because there's only one season, I'll come back to it, right? So, season 1 is actually not the most important, episode. I'm sorry, I took notes and I could not get to the most. So the episode 1 is the intro to the character. So the story has a bunch of character, but the thing that I like a lot is that we have 4 main characters, and those 4 main characters are extremely amazing. So we got the old man, right? And the old man is the guy who came up with the recipe for the candy in question, which is responsible for the opioid. Right, and the reason why he's important is because he's behind it, and you realize in the first episode they're getting intro. So I wrote intro, character, and the stakes. What I think I'm gonna do, right? I think I'm gonna do a intro to every single characters, and then why are they important in the story. So the content, not the content creator, the creator of the candy, the CC content creator, na zdrowia. I have to take a break. I have to talk to you guys. I'm not super comfortable doing this. The show is great, but see, in the grand scheme of things, when you look at, and I have 26,000 videos. If you look at every single recap that I ever did, every single recap, it's either an anime, a comic, it's either I don't do a lot in the tragedy, right? I don't do a lot in the real life. So the fact that this is real life and this is also a tragedy, This is one of the first time we do that, and because one of the first time we do that, I'm kind of uncomfortable, and I'm sorry for that. So the intro to the characters, we have the doctor. He's not really a doctor, well, kind of, but complicated. You realize that it's a man who has a lot of failing business. That he had this mentor who gave him everything, but also gave him the debt. So it's a rich man that doesn't want to lose money, right? That's the first character. We're gonna get into more into. We got to get more into the story in itself. The main character of the show, in my opinion only, is the married man, which is the second character. The married man, because he is a normal dude. And the thing with the married man that is phenomenal is that, and I don't want to say that in a misogynistic way, I don't want to say that in a sexist way, but he kind of not represents all men, but is how I picture a father to be. Normal dude with a normal job, he has a loving family, just doing his normal thing, right? And in my mind, the married man, I think the married man is because I relate to him a lot. There's no ring on his finger, if you wanna, and I think that's why I relate to him a lot. We have the salesman, which is Shannon Schaefer. Now, I'm gonna tell you the secret, okay? I'm gonna tell you a little secret. It is common rules in a show. It is common rules in media, okay? When you have no idea of what your name should be, you take the good old comic route. If you look at the comics, right? I'm gonna say, oh, Peter Parker, PP, Bruce Banner, BB. There's so many. I can't do anything. There's so many heroes, right? And again, if you want to put some in the comments, please do. That way nobody knows the fuck you're talking about. And to me, this is the golden rule when it's when you don't know what you're talking about. When not don't know what you're talking about when you don't know how to name a character. So Shannon Schaefer, SS. We got in his school because her stakes. So the married man's stakes is he get hurt. Then he has a doctor. So when you look at the four characters, you have the doctor, you have the married man that is the consumer, right? You have the students. The students is and Shannon Schaefer is also very, very, very well written. And as far as written goes, see, there's a little problem. Since episode 1 is its appearance, the guy who creates the candy, once again a code word, you're not supposed to like him. He's an asshole. The father figure, the married man, you're supposed to like him, but during the show in itself, he becomes a junkie. I don't know, but I don't relate to the junkie part of the character. Call me crazy. And then we have the student. And the student is really cool. You can kind of see her. You can kind of see a woman that is being told that she's beautiful. You can kind of see a woman that had nothing in life, that had a shitty family situation, that just moved out. You can kind of see that a woman that was naive to the outer world. So when there's another woman that says, hey, let's empower you, let's give you money, let's make you like this crazy salesman, she becomes this crazy salesman. And what I love with Shannon Schaefer is she's very she's very naive, but in the best of ways. It's the naive into selling a product. Just personal story, okay? I'm selling a product, and I was in an MLM, and at first, of course, I was selling the product, and the way they got to me is they said, you're gonna be able to help your friend. You're gonna be able to make a lot of your friend financially independent. I don't care about money. Personally, I don't care. But when they said that you're gonna be able to make a lot of your friend financially independent, it was an amazing thing, because one of my best friends just had his first kid. I'm like, holy shit, that's gonna change his life. And then I really checked out the marketing behind the multi-level marketing. I was like, that's a piece of shit. That's horrible. That is horrible, right? And the longer form of things, how can I put this? Complicated. And the longer form of things is Shannon Schaefer is that. She's being told that she's selling a miracle product. She's being told that selling that is gonna improve life. She's being told that she's gonna help people and become independent. So she naive because she believes she trusts people, and the salesman industry a lot. The salesman industry a lot, and that's not the problem with salesmen. I'm not saying that every salesman is like that, but in most jobs that have a salesman, there's something called commission. The more you sell, the more commission you do, and the more commission you do, the more money you make. So people might be good people, but everybody is to a certain level susceptible to greed. And because everybody is susceptible to greed, you're gonna be you're gonna be you're gonna be like, okay, well, I want to buy this, I want to buy this, I want to buy this, but I need this, and this. You'll be working, right? When you see me working hard, right? And somebody told me yesterday on TikTok to say, hey, why are you making videos so long? You must be getting paid by the minute. And I was like, no, dude, I just make content because eventually I'll get paid. Am I doing it for cash? If you believe I'm doing it for cash, I've been doing it for 3 years and I haven't made a single penny from TikTok and YouTube. I did make money on Twitch, which is around, I want to say $225. And that's a very precise number. Yes, I made that much in 3 years. So if I was there for the money, then I would be a dumbass. But I understand that there's gonna be a need for financial at some point, right? The person research my favorite characters. See, I believe it's so cool because all the characters are so important. The salesman, I find her the most interesting because she's in between. She's in between. So you have the consumer, which is the married. This is the beautiful thing. This is the absolute beautiful thing about the show. The person that made the candy, and also the person who who's a victim and is becoming an addict is a victim. And we got the research, which is the law enforcement. So you understand that she goes in and she is really researching the candy in itself, because she's really researching the candy. She's attacking doctors. She's attacking a lot of people, right? And that is pretty much it. And she is kind of like the pro. So if you would have a line of good versus evil, start with evil, right? You have the evil, which is over there, guys, over there. Over there. The guy who made the candy, right? You got the salesman in here because she doesn't really know what she's doing. You got the addict because he chose to lie to his family, which we're gonna see later on. And at the end, we got the prosecutor, which has a really good reason that we're gonna see later on. So it is a good sense of evil, but it's also the four of them, which is every single actor that I had to do something in there. For example, the salesman. No, not the salesman. Sorry, the creator. I did say that he was gonna lose money. He was gonna lose everything, right? Gonna go bankrupt. What I'm not saying, right? Give me a sec. Okay. No, because I did a Red Bull Vision, but there's a description. See, what I'm not saying is he had a mentor, and that mentor told him like a good doctor is good, but it's even better if you get a good salesman. And that guy was the creator of morphine and codeine, which are both addictive, right? So the candy in itself, it's not even a candy, and I'm using those terms for obvious reason. And it's fun because they took the addictive part of both. They made it super addictive. That way people would get really hooked on them and they would sell, right? With that, the company with that, the new product, right? The study, the new name. Yeah. So when they do a study, and that's the craziest part, to a certain degree. And I understand that this is a documentary. That's my complaint about the show. It feels very theatrical. It does really feel like, oh, dude, this is a movie. However, it's inspired by true faith, so that I'm cool. And the way the show is very good is at the beginning, they put a real testimony of a real person. This is cool. They had a study and they're putting away this product, right? And the name of the product is Oxycodone. So Oxycontin, There's another word with oxy, and people are really, really, really pissed about it. They do a group study, which is a group study is I'm going to present the product. I'm going to be behind the glass. I'm going to be hidden, and I'm going to present the product, and I'm going to have a focus study group, which is a group of people that come in to react to an idea, to react to a product, to react to a concept, right? And then you're going to see the way they are, and it's kind of cool because you hiding will make them more honest. So they do a study group, and they have a negative ID. And then they say, "Oh yeah, but oxycodone is really, really cool." And the craziest part about this show, the scariest part, is that when you look at the guy who created it, it's kind of crazy. He has his mentor talking to him. When you see him, he's alone. Got two. But into a super good relationship between the docs. Right, cool. The best thing is in the first episode, right? The father figure, and I really, really, really enjoy that. The father figure, right? He has a funny doctor, and you look at the doctor, and I'll be completely honest. In the show, the doctor of the married man is I'm gonna call him I don't know his name. Is possibly one of the only like not morally correct, but morally, let's call him morally balanced. Morally balanced is a good way. So basically, he sells the oxycontin, and he's like, "Holy shit, this is addictive!" But I'm only gonna prescribe you something. Then you see that the married man, which is again one of the main character, is becoming slowly addicted to it. He's becoming slowly dependent on it. So it's like, okay, well, I should stop you. I should really stop you. No, the doctor didn't give a shit. And the first episode is crazy because you see doctor who are over prescribing. You see doctor that are prescribing to client that don't even exist. And the reason they're doing that is because they want to move volume. And because they move volume, then they're having this. Because they're moving volume, then they're having this bonus. Because they're getting bonus. We remember what happened? They get more cash. You're right. So number two, we have ensures a super good relationship between Doc and Oxykitten. Oxykitten is a term that they use, but even the dumbest person in Vendetta, no, not the dumbest, but not a scholar, can realize what it is. So a kitten is seen as a young girl, which is a very weird term to use. But it serves as this young girl. So, in the media industry and the bar industry, you see that a lot. You see kittens, which is young girl, and you're gonna pretend like they're attracted to you. So you see a kitten, like that, right? And that's a beautiful thing about a kitten. It's such a perfect. And I'm sorry if that sounds misogynistic, but it's such a perfect term. A kitten will fall in love with you really easily, and a cat will not give a shit about you, even if you're the owner. And to a certain degree, there's a lot of married men that feel the same way about their wife. The relationship, the honeymoon phase, and then the phase where there's not a lot of love, right? And the kind of the cool thing is because I do believe that. I do think women are better at describing emotion, are better at showing love, at talking about love. They're better at understanding the emotion. They have a better emotional intelligence. However, men are, in my opinion, better at demonstrating love. Like if I look at myself in a relationship, if I love somebody, I'm gonna show them that I love them. But then again, if they don't show me that they love me, then they have a different language, and I'm not surely sure that I'm going to understand. It'll be something different. So the kitten is, again, a young woman, and they're going to show love to an older person, and they're going to make them feel love, and because they make them feel love, we get that. Oxykitten is also a term for employing, let's call it, hypersexualized people. So Hooters, you know the Hooters actually call their employee kitten. Little known fact. Then they had to change because human resources like, no, that's not cool. They say, they're talking about how the doc writes. They're talking about how they're charming doctors to prescribe the Oxycontin. And then we have, in the second episode, which is crazy, and the pacing of the show is really good. Really good. The fact that we have episodes that are more focused on a character, but then the fact that in every single episode so far, there's been multiple instances of the character in itself that you have to, because the married man started episode 1 and he's completely normal, and in episode number 8 He's completely a junkie. Now, I know what you're saying. Yeah, but that's a show. Is it the show because that's 8 hours showing the trajectory, showing the development route, showing the step by step of becoming an addict, the addiction in the way it is. It's a hard thing, even in 8 hours. Okay, like yeah, and then you see, for some of the doctors are like, shit, what did he do? The very first episode, probably the second episode, is we got Shannon Schaffer, which is again the salesman, and she goes to a doctor. And what I really enjoyed, right, is she meets a doctor, and the doctor's like, no, they're happy with what they have, and she really sells them. And they have this doctor, and this doctor is, out of the doctor, my favorite character. See, the doctor in the show are really nice. So the first doctor that you kind of like is the doctor of the married man, which is, he's funny. He's funny. He's charismatic. Then you have this doctor. This doctor's an asshole. They say, oh, you're fucking oxycontin. You don't know what the fuck you're selling, and he proves with facts the chemical processes to create oxycontin, the mixture of both, right? And he's like, okay, well, you mix that both. Those are both. You're selling H. And he's like, yo, you don't even know what you're doing. You're dangerous. Get the fuck out of my house, right? Is the first doctor. And the problem with Shannon Schaffer is she's naive, but also kind of really smart. So she's naive, yes, but she's not dumb. You know, that's a very big difference between being naive and dumb. She asked the other girl, which is a mentor, hey, is it true? And the doctor's like, no, it's not true. But then and the next episode, which is episode number 3, she's seeing the one of the customer that she saw become an addict, and she has emotional guilt. So Shannon Schaffer is actually the perfect character. That's episode number 3. So basically, this is really cool. This is what I love about Painkiller. It could have been so, and just the last one, so. Right? Oh, I forgot in the second episode the inspector. And I did mention her before because she had a slow build up. The problem with the inspector, and I think the person who plays her is a phenomenal actress. If you watch the show Orange is the New Black, she's Crazy Eyes. That's her character. She's actually really doing a good job. You can tell that she is this quote unquote bitch, because she constantly goes, she pushes the issues, she pushes. You can tell that she's good at her job, right? She's really good because she's really clever. She's able to not necessarily predict, but guess. I don't think guess would be a good word. So she's able to take a situation and have an understanding of what happened, even if she wasn't there. She's really good at putting pieces together. She's a really good cop. The problem with her is, I believe she's one of the most interesting character. The four of them are super interesting, but I do believe her character suffer from a clear flaw. And that clear flaw is, she'll come in, she'll explain. For example, right? You have she's gonna tell you, hey, they took 2 of the most addictive drugs and they put them together, right? And you're like, holy shit. The problem is, we saw that 5 minutes ago, and if you have a little bit of smart, if you have a little bit of if you have a little bit of understanding of what's going on, you understand that. So her character comes in more as a vulgarizer, and she'll be like, okay, this is what happened. I'll tell you what happened, so that way, you're not confused. Episode number 2, she really is good, and it's funny because and her, in a perfect way, her character is interesting because, again, she doesn't know shit. Her character, the character of the inspector is possibly the most interesting. If I had to choose one character, possibly the inspector, because she's the one that's gonna give me the information, right? But until episode 3, she has no card in the game. Episode 3, she has a big card in the game, and it is a good thing because, see, Shannon, she has a card in the game. She's selling. The husband has a card in the game. He's an addict. The dude who created the medication, right? He's an asshole. He wanted to get money. We all have stake in the game. Her, she doesn't have stake. She's just seeing this epidemic, and it's like, yo, I want to check it out. The third one is by far my favorite show. In a very rare copter. Of course, when we're filming. It's okay though. It's okay. So I can't do shit, guys. I cannot do shit. What do you want me to do? The third one is probably my favorite by far. What I really enjoy is in a weird way, it's not necessarily about the four characters. It is her surroundings. So Shannon, she is surrounded by sellers. And this episode, in this episode, you're gonna see that there's something wrong there. The episode number 3 is my favorite, by far my favorite, and it sucks. It's really sucked, but it's the quality of the show in itself. So episode number 1, my favorite character, honestly, the husband. Episode number 3, my least favorite character, the husband, because he's an addict, right? And it's surrounding them. The cops, this researcher, talking to the doctor, right? But it's not so much about what we know is, okay, well, we know this character is involved, but how is he involved? How does he feel like he's involved? It's like kind of like a chapter closer. Shannon, she's seeing that something is very wrong. She's seeing that, dude, most of the people that sell are making more and more money than me, and they're making crazy amount. And she's asking, and her mentor's like, yo, this person should make that much, this person make an amazing amount. And she's like, how are they making that much money? This doesn't make sense. This doesn't make sense. We're gonna be on for the FDA, which is basically this is beautiful. This is fucking incredible. This is the meta. This is the behind the scene. See, the problem with Painkiller, it is very technicality. It's not a drama. It's not a movie. It'll be 4 different point of view, right? So for some people, Game of Thrones, if you the show is less bad, but if you watch if you read the books, it's very complicated because you're gonna have a chapter which is James, chapter which is Tyrion, chapter which is Caitlyn, chapter which is Ned, chapter which is Sansa. So you're constantly moving back and forth with the characters, and this one is hard. So it's harder to have like a line when you have 4 different characters that are not meeting. So you have 4 different characters who are constantly at odds. You have 2 parallel. You have 2 parallel, but this one is with this one. Like, okay, well, how do they all go together? How does this story all tied up together? We got the hunt for the FDA, which is the creator of the creator, which is a good salesman, and again the mentor. When you see the mentor, is crazy. The imagery they do the mentor as like a priest who gives oxycontin to his disciple, and it's insane because it's a church, it's a cult. It's really good. So he has this understanding of the FDA, and he uses the mice. And you're like, what is the mice? What is it? And the mice in itself is so cool because it's a concept of going against a person, right? And we see the addiction of the hubby. Now he's really addicted. He's at dinner with his family, and he's eating, and he bites his fingers so much that he bleed. He didn't understand it. We got Shannon was seeing a girl, and one of the girl, and it's the craziest thing. She sees a girl that she saw at the doctor's office using oxycontin as a drug. She's like, holy shit! And then they're dying. And then in the same show, they're dying, right? Which is so weird. You got the husband who lied to the family saying he quit, right? The doctor who is realizing that there's a crisis, right? And understanding that this is not good. We have the inspector. The inspector shines today. In the episode, she really shines. So what she's gonna do is she's gonna go see, and she's gonna see the understanding, and it's kind of cool because there's so much money involved. There's so much of everything involved that when it does happen, you don't really see it. You don't really understand that, okay, there's an epidemic. You don't really understand how bad is the epidemic. You hear the problem with this is you understand a bribe from here, a bribe from there, a bribe from here, a bribe from there, and you don't really know where to put yourself, right? Which is the problem with the show. And then you see the doctors, and the doctor's like, yo, this is an epidemic. And the craziest thing is, she says, there's this, how can I call it? Propaganda. That's what propaganda, because it is. There's just propaganda that says, hey, 1% of the patient gets addicted. And the doctor's like, yeah, but I gotta have a room full of that 1%, which is really good. So see how they constantly lied, and nobody was, and it's crazy because I don't want to be complaining, but for a doctor, you go to see a doctor when they have, that's actually a big debate. In today's society, it's a huge debate. You go see the doctor when you're hurt. for the for the actual pain, actual medication, go to see a pharmacist. They're two different people, you know. We got the reality of realizing why the cop, she is so involved. Her brother used to sell meth. Because he used to sell meth, it's a really weird thing because he got his mom hooked up. There was a crisis with the meth, and it's kind of cool because, okay, not kind of cool, but it's actually quite sad. It happened in the ghetto, so it happened in a vastly majority of black people neighborhood. And back then, the show is supposed to be placed in the 80s and 90s, and back then there was a lot of racism still. There's still racism to this day, but more like then. And it didn't really happen. It didn't really matter until it did. And the cops, once again, a black woman, which we love, kind of independent. But she saw she saw the crisis happen with meth, and she's seen the same crisis happen with OxyContin, and she does the connection. And her brother was selling, and her brother was this. It's weird because the brother was selling, he was killing people, and it isn't precise. It isn't. It is intended. It is between the line that the brother knew that what he was doing, but it's not confirmed. And because it's not confirmed, you cannot tell. Okay, well, he was a bad guy, you know. Anywho, I love you guys. Take it easy. Sorry, this is the end of the video. It ended abruptly, but we'll go see a part 2. Love you guys. Peace.